How we doing?
It's always fun. We never sit this close together.
I know. We never get to like be this close. This is great.
But it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Should we get the intro out of the way?
Yes,
because recently we've been getting push. So we'll bring it to the forefront. Hi, I'm Hanna Gerlander.
And I'm Nora Fried.
And you're listening to High Heels and Punchlines, Sex and the City Rewatch.
I just kind of was seeing what you were going to say. Wow. That was good.
That was good.
We usually kind of stumble on that a little bit.
I feel like we're now we just want to get it. We want to get to the chatting. We want to get to the guests. We want to get to the episode. And the intro is what stands in our way.
Right. And we have a very special guest on today.
And we have a major episode. So lots to get to.
I met this special guest doing a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reading at Come On Everybody. Alex Better, they put it on, and they basically take the entire season or at least a couple episodes that are really, really important, and then they make a little script, and then we read it in on a stage in front of it was honestly a completely sold out show. The last one that we went to, it was standing room only. But Milly came in as Mary Cosby, and I honestly was just dying every time she spoke. So I was we got to get her on the podcast. And with that, we want to introduce our special guest, Milly. She actually has a podcast called Go Touch Grass, and she performs all over, both in English and Spanish. Comedian, podcaster, hilarious Mary Cosby. Hi, Milly. Welcome.
Yes, I do want to say, yes, hi, welcome.
Hi.
I do want to say that, it was a last minute call.
I know. You crushed it. You crushed it.
Thank you. But I just, usually people come in costume and they're done up, and I'm someone that likes to be done up for shows, but that one, I was literally rotting on my couch watching Good Wife. And,
yeah, that was kind of part of it though, because Alex was we actually have a sub for Mary, and I feel like Mary kind of comes into different scenes in Real Housewives being wait, what are we doing again? And you kind of took on that character and really pushed it. It was so perfect.
And this was the most recent one, off of this recent season.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It was long. How long was it?
It was too long, yeah. That was the show was too long. The season was not long enough, but
yeah.
But it was the most recent season of Salt Lake, so very fun.
Well, we love anyone who has a Bravo related crossover that also drew me to you, because I think that we've actually had a couple people from that reading on our show as well. And it's always just Bravo and Sex and the City. They line up so well together.
They kind of do.
The people who like Housewives usually
Sex
understand Sex and the City as well.
Yeah, this is I think maybe my second or third Sex and the City podcast.
Wow.
I did one I think before the pandemic, and my really good friend, I don't think she does this anymore, but she is a tour guide.
Christine?
No, Melissa. She's a tour guide on the Sex and the City, New York City bus tour.
Our friend Christine, who was on the podcast, is currently still a Sex and the City tour guide. And it was so fun to talk to her about that.
Yeah. So incredible. And she has some really funny videos with Carmen Christopher, where Carmen Christopher, that comedian, proposed to her on the Sex and the City bus tour. Proposed fake. It was not real, but it was really funny.
Wow.
But yeah, Bravo. Yeah, Bravo's always really fun. It's pretty interesting. The Sex and the City, it's interesting that Desperate Housewives was the thing that got Real Housewives to start. But I feel like Roni feels a lot like Sex and the City, Real Housewives.
There's lots of aligning there.
Yeah, and that's honestly the best one in my opinion.
I don't agree, but we can sit there.
Whoa! So you like the new
I do.
Roni.
I think it's old money versus new money.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think that the new Roni reflects more accurately what New York is. And like New York, I'm sorry, like I don't really want to see a bunch of Trump like in white women that never go under the 59th Street. Like I see the appeal and I get it and whatever, but I'm also like I don't know, I do want to see like former models and PR fashion people and
Yeah.
whatever Bryn does and like I'm sorry, like you're telling me that Sonya is more interesting, for example, or Ramona is more interesting than Raquel, who's a lesbian former Puerto Rican model who is also an art curator who's butch lesbian neuroscientist Asian wife who rides motorcycles. Like, I'm sorry. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I dropped off this most recent season, but my friend Lexi was like, something crazy happens at the end of this season. She was like, you should give it another chance. So I've been planning to try again.
And like, I view most housewives as like phone game TV, where I'm playing a game on my phone and I'm like kind of watching it.
Yeah.
It does. I don't know if it's like it gets so good. It's just interesting. It's apples and oranges. And I think that, I have a lot of hot takes about whatever, but I'm like, I think that the best, and I'm sure you have strong feelings about Ebony Williams, but I'll just let you know that I love Ebony K. Williams and her podcast is really good. I really highly recommend her podcast. She has a podcast that does like Black pop culture news from a legal lens. So she's like,
okay.
it's so good. She's like, okay, so Neo is divorcing his second wife. So what does that mean? What is she entitled to property wise?
Oh, I love that kind of stuff.
So it's really good. So and she talked, it's Black pop culture. So she it's called Holding Court. Mm-hmm. So she like brought up like legal documents of like a 30-year ongoing paternity scandal that Jay-Z has. And then you're just like, ugh, and like stuff like that. So I'm like, And then in one of her episodes, Ebony was like, what was supposed to happen with Real Housewives is that they were supposed to slowly transition into what it is now. Mm-hmm. Like, which was like, they were going to get one or two new people and slowly transition these women out. Mm-hmm. But the old guard couldn't play by those rules of like that. So they just had to do a clean sweep. But I think about it, and I feel like that's why so many people are averse to they're not giving it a chance. It's not going to be like what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think for me, like Housewives has always been like, we're kind of all just making fun of them in a weird way.
Yeah,
like we're kind of like laugh, like, and I have a hard time laughing at the new cast because I'm like, wait, they're actually doing
they're like
cool
successful
stuff.
and they have like their lives put together. So it's kind of like, no, like I would like to when like Luann had a drinking problem. Like that was what was interesting to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like watching people with money be like a total mess was why I was watching. So then it's like watching people with money like kind of have their lives together. I'm like, I need to get my life together here in New York. Like this is how the other half is living.
Yeah, but then one of the so it's just different because then one of the arguments is basically Bryn is like just like corny, like everything is a photo op. She has to get in glam for everything. Why was she in glam for her kid's birthday party? Why did they have like a photographer and like sell shots to People magazine? And why did she get a photographer for her birthday? And then everyone's like, that's not weird. It's normal to have a photographer for your birthday. And then Jessel was like, you came to my birthday with your agent. So it's like, it's different fights, I know what you're saying, but it's just.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give it a chance. Like this Uba Bryn fight that I was told about.
Yeah,
has
it's
my
really
attention.
Sad and dark.
Yeah, I heard it's like not. I heard it's like not chill.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's interesting to see though. Like, I mean, I'm just like, yeah, I feel bad for Bryn has so many, but this is what I think. I think that the housewife fandom could be best compared to sports. Like how men watch sports and like who's having a good season, what team you root for, what all that stuff. And in that sense, I'm like, we do need drafts. Like, I do want to see, and that's kind of the cool thing about sports, is that you follow a player and then you like them, and then you're like, I want to see them play against these people, but also I want to see how they play with a different group. And there's so many drafts. I'm like, I want Bryn to go to Atlanta, or I want Mary Cosby. I really wanted Mary Cosby to go to Potomac, where her weave like
I'd
that.
watch.
But then she became endearing, so whatever.
Yeah, she had a real change this season.
Yeah.
All right, so going back now to Sex and the City, what is your history with Sex and the City? Like, did you grow up watching it? Do you have a girl you love? Do you not like the show? What's your opinion on the show?
I feel like a little bit above neutral.
Okay.
Like, I have, as a woman that's lived in New York, like, who has a bunch of gay friends, like, you can't, like, it's just part of culture that, and it did a lot. I feel like, too, it's like, it was the first of its kind of, like, women talking about sex in this way. But then now we watch it and it's like, ooh, like, I don't know. I'm like, this is problematic, or this is a very, like, narrow view of sex, or this is whatever. Like, and also the diversity things are crazy. Like,
Yeah.
but that's why a lot of shows are like that with, like, in New York, would people, my dog's mad at me. My dog's so pissed. In New York, with people in their 40s, like, I guess, and Just Like That is trying to correct that, but also a lot of TV shows were like that, where it's like, you're in New York, and it's like, so that's kind of why I have a big resentment for girls. I'm like, I could kind of, you could kind of get away with this in, like, the early thousands and, like, late 90s. When did it start?
The late 90s is when Sex and the City started, and I do have to say we definitely take it on with a lens of, wow, this is really not chill.
Yeah.
No, you guys, no, fuck you. Like, you guys love Sex and the City, you guys suck. No, it was an important thing of culture that was really empowering and, like, really shifted a lot of things. But, is it a piece of content that I'm like, ooh, and, like, I haven't really, like, engaged with it Just Like That. But I've watched a lot of episodes, and I do think, like, everyone had that Carrie dream of, everyone thought they were going to be, I think, like, I guess, like, and I'm sure you guys asked this, but it was like, what was your, like, now that you live in New York, like, thing that you're like, I can't believe they, like, spread this lie to people. And I think for me, like, a lot of people are like, I can't believe they said that they would be a journalist and have that kind of apartment. I feel like that's more likely than this bitch is always in heels walking around the city. That one is the one to me, because I thought I was going to be in heels walking around the city.
Yeah.
Never.
No, bitch.
Never.
I think because a good apartment you can stumble upon. You can stumble, and you know what? You cannot pay your rent for a few months. Like, that's how the cookie crumbles. But walking around, she'd be in Central Park. Lapping Central Park with, like, 8-inch Manolos.
Even
and
in
I'm
this
like,
episode, when she loses the dog.
Oh, that was nuts.
And she's sprinting after the dog in the pouring rain, in heels, in her shorts and her bra. I was like, this is just not it.
Yeah, that's a lie. You're lying to us.
In the first season, even when she's talking about that she, like, walked 40 blocks and she's, like, in heels, and we're like, there's no way you chose to walk 40 blocks in those heels.
And, like, to be that, I'm like, she's not even the woman that has sneakers in her bag.
Yeah, because the bag is too small.
Yeah,
the bag is too small.
Is there a specific woman that you'd be like, that's me? I mean, obviously we don't. I say it with, like, we have girls that we, like, kind of relate to, but, like, if we had to choose a character, but obviously you're not the full
that's
character.
so hard because it's everybody, right?
Yeah.
Isn't everybody everything? I feel like Charlotte, and then there's a lot of reframing, right? Because Charlotte was seen as the prude and the crazy, but then, there's, like, this, I hate to even call it, like, feminist. I would even say, like, misandrist that I follow, who talks a lot and she's like, Charlotte is the only one that had strong boundaries, and she pushed, and she didn't go outside of anything that she wanted. And I'm like,
And
Well,
she
yeah,
got
then
everything
that
she
is-
wanted in the end.
Well, because she waited for it and she didn't compromise and all that stuff. So it's like, I feel like I'm a little bit of Charlotte. I'm a little bit of a Miranda. I'm sure in some friend groups I'm like the prude Charlotte, and in some friend groups I'm the Samantha. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some of my friends in New York, I feel like such a prude and a loser and all this stuff. And then I hung out with my friends from college, and all of us were in a room together. And I'm like, damn, I've slept with more people than everybody in this room combined.
So you're like, you're like, I'm a Charlotte, and then I go and hang out with my friends, and I am immediately
Charlotte
Samantha.
in the city, Samantha in the suburbs.
Yeah. Well, I say, but I guess like even more recent, I feel like Spring Breakers too. Of like, like Selena Gomez is like crazy in Spring Breakers, but then she actually hangs out with crazy people, and she's like, I want to go home.
Yeah, she's like, actually, this isn't
This
me.
isn't right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why Shaka Khan. I'm every woman. But definitely, I would say I'm. And then Carrie's got the swag, but this bitch is crazy.
She is.
Yeah.
This
So
episode
I
in
would
particular.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm a Carrie.
Yeah.
I would say I'm all of them but Carrie.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
That's good. Most
take
people
that.
don't really like Carrie, so that's great. Okay, so I'm going to read just the highlights of the episode and what Carrie's question was, and then we can get into breaking it down. So we watched season 3, episode 10, All or Nothing. The highlights of this episode, which are loose highlights because obviously there's much bigger storylines. Trey wants a prenup. Samantha has the flu. Miranda's having phone sex. And there's so much wrapped inside this, but Aiden and Carrie tell each other that they love each other.
Oh, yeah.
And Carrie's question this episode is, can we have it all?
So how do you feel, Millie? Do you think we can have it all? Let's answer Carrie's question off the bat.
I mean, I think that like the best TV shows and the best pieces of media are like when you get everything you want and then you see that it's not enough.
Yeah.
So it's like, or like actually it causes a new onslaught of problems. So I do think you can have it all, but I don't think you're going to be very happy with it in the long run.
What are like the it things for you for having it all? Like, is it boyfriend, apartment, job? Like she said, isn't she always? She's like, you're either
boyfriend, apartment, job. Exactly. You're always in New York. You're always looking for a new boyfriend, a new apartment, or a new job. Yeah, I definitely totally agree with that.
Okay.
A boyfriend, apartment, job, like good family.
Yeah.
Like good family stuff, and like a good work-life balance.
Yeah.
And feels good financially, but also like pursuing creative stuff, like something creative that you enjoy. That's all, and that's a lot.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it's like good health care.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that too.
That'd be nice.
A nice gym.
Oh my God, the gym.
The gym. Yeah.
What's a nice gym to you? Are you a classes person, or are you
We're big on classes. So Hanna actually works at Orange Theory, and I go there all the time. So
we love Orange Theory. Nora takes more classes though. You also have like a yoga.
Yeah, I do yoga and Pilates. I kind of run around town.
And Orange Theory is just kind of like boot camp, like circuit training stuff, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You should.
You can't just like go. It has to be with a class.
Has to be with a class, but like the class is designed where you can kind of like choose your speed of the intensity of the class. It's not like right now we're all lifting 50 pounds. Not right. Like it's like right now we're all lifting. You choose your weight, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So do you?
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, no, it's
come with us whenever.
Literally,
I would
We
love
like
to.
live there.
Like, I would embarrass you,
First class is free.
First class is really interesting. Yeah, I've never done. I'm a classes person. I don't like. So.
What's your class vibe?
I do a lot of Y7.
Okay, I
do
Y7 too.
Yeah, I used to do Y7 a lot. There's a Pilates, but I realized that like the gym has to be walking distance from me. That's like how it's gonna. That's how I'm gonna go consistently, I think.
If you have to like factor in train times and stuff, then it's never going to be a good experience.
Right.
There's so many good ones. Like I used to do Aquacycle, which is Soul Cycle in a pool.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I've
It's
never
so
heard of
fun.
that.
It's crazy. It's
Wait till
so
I tell my
fun.
mom about that.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, a lot of it's like definitely Y7 is like there's not. I feel like more recently there is, but like when I first started going to Y7, it was all just skinny white girls and like kind of all dressed the same and stuff. And then Aqua Fitness is the first place where it was like truly diverse, like all races, all sizes, all ages. Because of it's underwater, it's like low impact. So a lot of older women are there too. A lot of like Jewish women like that are Hasidic or Orthodox or something, and and like this black lady who's retired from Harlem, she's like, I have an unlimited pass and I come here every day. I'm like, oh my God.
Love it.
Yeah, but Aqua Fitness. But I'm like, but then getting on the train.
Yeah.
Getting on the
Not
train when you
warranted.
smell like chlorine. I don't know, man.
Having it all for me would be an apartment that's near all the things I do.
Yeah.
Like if I could like live above my job, above my gym, across the street from Nora, like that would just be ideal.
close. You're
I'm
close.
close. I'm like a 15-minute walk to Nora's, which is also near where I work. But it's more like it's not like an easy. There's a bus that goes up and down the street, but the bus doesn't like run super consistently. So it's kind of like if it's really cold or if I'm like running late, I really got to be Like I got to be like on the go to get there.
15-minute walk, like that adds up too.
It
Yeah.
does. And like you'll think about like 15-minute walk, what's the big deal? But then it's like I need to leave like right now if I'm going to get there on time.
Yeah, 15-minute
So-
walk is tough.
Having it all for me would just be that's what I'm saying though about like when you have it all, you're still not even like you still want more. Like me and my boyfriend just recently moved. And so like I have a boyfriend, we adopted a dog. I just got this job. He just got a new job and we moved into an apartment that's nicer than our last place. And still when I'm walking the dog, I'm like, ugh, I wish I lived in that house instead. And I'm
Right.
like, when it like you just got
that's
a
just
nicer
New York,
place.
yeah.
It's like nothing even when you like have it all, I'm still like I still want like a little bit better than what I have.
We kind of
Yeah.
that with Samantha too. Like she has that beautiful place in the meatpacking district.
And then one curtain
And
falls.
like one curtain falls, she's like, this place is terrible.
I have to say, to talk about Samantha for a second, the episode before this, she's learning that she might be going through menopause, and she kind of has like a spiral about getting old and being single. And now in this episode, she's sick and she has a spiral about like she owns this place and she's sick, but she still needs like a man. And I know both of them are like them trying to show that Samantha like is a full human and like despite being like our confident, sexual, like powerful woman, like she has these sides. But I don't really know like what feedback they got that this season is like multiple of these episodes where Samantha just like is not the Samantha like we know and love. Like I
Right.
didn't like seeing her like this at all.
I feel like, it's like nature being written by a gay guy. It's like, it's like we gotta bring her down a peg.
Right.
She's getting too powerful.
We need to give
And
her the
also-
flu and have her beg for a man.
Yeah, HBO is also like was so like male dominated, male focused for so long that like I'm sure the execs wanted to say some shit too about like, yeah, but she can't be just like she had to need a man or whatever. I don't
Also,
know.
like I've been sick plenty before having a boyfriend, and I'm not even close to being as like confident as Samantha is. And I've never like been like calling exes to come over and help me. Like I feel like she just needs to like relax a little, take some Dayquil,
Yeah.
go to the store,
Call
get what
your
you
girls. Call
Right,
your
like
girls.
Carrie's blowing your nose for you, like making that smoothie.
That did not, in terms of like making fun of Sex and the City time wise, I was like, wow, I would be there with a mask on. Like
Carrie's like
and she's like
holding-
coughing all over her.
Well, that's why I say you could tell it's written by a man because, like, actually, statistically, there's so many statistics that show, like, women who are single heal faster from, like, sickness and heal because they only have to take care of themselves. They're not responsible for a whole household. Or, like, women who are married and, get heart surgery, like don't recover as good because they still have to cook dinner and all this shit. So it's like, yeah, you could just tell that it's written by, because it's like, you know, and I'm not saying all men and whatever, but like the things that makes a man valuable and the things that we push and value in our society about men is not caretaking or like looking after someone who's sick or like doing the domestic stuff. Because that's really what, you know, when you're sick, like, yeah, maybe it's not like I want a man, but it's like I want someone to take care of me, to feed me soup, to like look after me while, you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's just like, okay, find a man who does that.
I know, like no one's gonna do it. Definitely not some guy you hooked up with once after the gym. Like he's not coming over to rehang your curtain.
I do have to say, before they kind of like backtracking in the episode, but still at Samantha's house when they're all talking about the delivery service.
That really dated the show.
That was like, so they were like, and you can get anything.
She's like, I ordered condoms on it.
Yeah. It came faster than him.
It also shows how like used to stuff we get. Like we're so used to anything we want, we can get delivered to our house. And it's like, that was like groundbreaking at a time.
Yeah. Well, my friend, I remember my friend was like, dude, like this person, whatever, like I swear to God, I was in college. And so it was like 2010, 2011. And this girl was like, yo, they got Burger King delivery. That's some straight up Dubai shit. Like, who the fuck does that? You know what I mean? Because like you would get pizza or something, but you would never get like fast food for yourself.
Delivered to your house.
Cut to me fucking spending $40 on Wingstop yesterday. And then like, you know, I just like immediately, and there's no way to know like what's a normal amount of money to spend on food that you don't want to get yourself.
I always, last night I almost spent $50 on my takeout delivery, but then I was like, something's up with this. So I went directly to the actual website of the restaurant, which is better to order through anyways, because then you don't give money to Seamless and all that shit. And it was like significantly cheaper. And I was like, okay, wait, Seamless is such a scam.
It really is.
Bitch, I went on wingstop.com and they charged me like $14 in fees, and it was still DoorDash.
Really?
So I was like, what
that
the
sucks.
fuck? You guys suck.
I feel like if the price of my bag is like $27, maybe $35 or something, that's more realistic. But then like checkout, I'm like in the 40s to 50s. Then I'm like, I'll just go or I'll just cook. Yeah. Like if we're adding like $10, $15, it's like it's nearby my house for like it can get delivered to me because it's nearby. So like I should just go get it.
That was almost my debate yesterday, because we did so our podcast, we do like our free episodes and then we do like deep dives for our Patreon. So we did a Patreon episode about Hey Sister, but like the James Charles Tati Westbrook thing, and I was like, and I'm high, so like I'm also like my co-host, we switch off, so she's like giving me the deep dive, and I'm just thinking about this stupid fucking sugar bear hair bullshit, and then I'm like, I'm hungry. Should I go get it? Am I gonna wait? And then I'm like looking up on my computer. She's talking to me, and then like, fucking thank God I ordered it, because I was so exhausted after, because the episode ended up being 2 hours long.
Oh Jesus,
that's a long
time. Because it was crazy. Because she was like, to understand anything in that time period, you had to watch 15 40-minute long videos. Like everyone wrote their rebuttal on 40 minutes anyway. So yes, like I got this $44 of fucking DoorDash Wingstop, and they forgot something.
Oh, that's so fucked.
That's
so
the worst.
And I'm always like, well, I realized I was so high and hungry because they came late. I'm like, well, I have to show them a picture of the thing they missed, but I'd have to show them a picture of everything I ate. Like 5 minutes after they left. So I'm just going to take the L.
I'll just let this one go.
I'll just let this one go.
Should we dive into I feel like we're good on Samantha. Do we want to go into another?
There's not much more to say about her episode.
Should we dive into Miranda?
Oh, wait, I did have one Samantha question.
Okay.
I feel like a major thing that happens in this episode is Carrie confesses to Samantha that
Yes.
she's cheating on
Yes.
Aiden and slept with Mr. Big. And they have that iconic line where Carrie's like, don't you want to judge me a little bit?
She said nothing men haven't been doing for centuries.
Seriously, it was like the most comforting friend, and Carrie's like expecting judgment, and Samantha's like, not my style. But I was wondering, like, who do you guys all have your Samantha? Like, if you did something awful, you have a friend you know you could tell and not feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking I would tell you.
I would tell you. Yeah.
I feel
Aw,
like
you guys are so cute. I don't know. Cheating is tough.
Yeah.
Because I felt like like I'm not gonna judge anybody. I don't know. I feel between Samantha and Charlotte.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Charlotte was more like, that's really fucked up that you're doing that to Big's wife.
yeah.
You know? And like think about other people. But you know, Sam is also like, listen, whatever, who gives a fuck? I also can feel like that. It's case by case. For
Okay.
me being that. But you know, you want to hear both, right? You don't want to just hear someone's like, oh yeah.
I feel like before being in a relationship would just be a Samantha. But now that I'm in a relationship, like would have a Charlotte tendency only because I can't imagine if my boyfriend was out there sleep, like I would take on the girlfriend's role. Like if Carrie confessed to me that she slept with Big, I feel like have immediate empathy for Natasha. Because
Yeah,
like,
of
I am
course.
someone's girlfriend. So now I'm like, oh my God, like how awful. I'm in the dark. I'm walking around thinking I'm in this great relationship with this great guy. And then he's off like sleeping with this girl he like never got over. But I still feel like a Samantha where like if my best friend confessed something to me, clearly that's been like bothering her and that she's like upset about and she doesn't know what to do, I'd be like, whatever, people cheat, like what are we doing next? Like are we dropping him? Are we dropping Aiden? Like let's just decide what we're gonna do and be done with it, which is not what Carrie does.
But also like, right, if your friend, if her boyfriend sucks and he never makes her come and all this stuff and he sucks and she cheats on him with somebody who's not in a relationship,
Like, okay, maybe there's something there.
yeah, whatever. But if it, you know what I mean, it's case by case. But
I was surprised that she didn't want to tell Miranda. I mean, we know from watching the show that she eventually does, but I feel like Miranda is the same vibe as Samantha in this situation of just like being like kind of like stuff happens, men suck, men do this stuff all the time. What are we doing next?
Yeah.
But when was it? What was the episode? As you guys are the resident, when does the episode that like Miranda cusses? She doesn't cuss her out, but they fight like in the thrift store or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
when she's like, "I'm back with Big," and then Miranda's like, "Well, you're not gonna. I don't want to fucking talk about it anymore." Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I
like
feel
I've
like
had enough.
that's not until the next season, right?
I
Because
think
the rest
so.
of season 3, I'm pretty sure, is just the remainder of the who will she go with? Natasha finding out, and like Aiden her ending, and Natasha and Big ending.
Do you think you could, how long do you think you could hide an affair for? Let's say you're already in it.
I really, if I truly snuck behind Wolf's back, that's my boyfriend's name, and slept with a whole nother person, it would be that night.
I know. I feel like I couldn't hide it. How long do you think you could do it, Millie? I'm so bad at lying.
I'm just like, I dated like. Have you ever dated multiple guys at the same time? Even that's like stressful, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm stressed and all this shit, and I'm supposed to like not tell you, and then whatever. Like, I can't do it. Like,
It's too much.
But if it's something happens, yeah, like, it's so funny because my friend is married, and her husband's like best friend. Like he had been dating this girl for years, and he was about to propose and all this stuff. And then I don't know, but like he just told his girlfriend like, hey, like a year and a half ago, I went to Cancun and I like slept. I think maybe they went to a brothel or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, or something like he slept with someone when he was like traveling.
Okay.
And then my friend and she kicked him out and whatever.
Okay.
So my friend's like, oh, he probably like just wanted to break up and like that, whatever. Because then, and then my friend and her husband were like, listen, like it was a year and a half ago. Like, just don't tell me. Like at that point,
Yeah.
like if it's a year and a half later, like just let it go. So yeah, that's what I think too, is like something that like clearly didn't mean anything.
Yeah, I actually
Maybe.
told Wolf once, I was like, if you ever like got drunk and like kissed a girl at the bar, but then like left immediately, like you don't have to tell me that. Like if you were like wasted, you hardly remember it. Maybe she kissed you, like you left, it meant nothing. Like you can let's just keep our relationships going good. I trust that. Telling me that the person I am, we'd never
would,
recover.
yeah.
We'd
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
recover.
Yeah.
So just keep that to yourself.
Yeah. I definitely.
What did you guys think of Miranda? I mean, Miranda got kind of cheated on in this episode as
that
well.
I think what I don't like to see is when people put so much thought into cheating that it almost is like, do you have a life? Like, so
They
yeah, exactly. So like with Miranda, the guy like having 2 phone sex conversations
Between
at the same
lines
time,
at that time.
that is so chaotic and takes so much planning. Like, what are
He
you
is
doing?
Literally talking to 2. He is like jacking off and like turning on and like 2 separate women. Like that's just nuts. I really liked him too. I kind of like forgot that he does her dirty, and I was like, what a fun episode for Miranda. Like,
Yeah, I was
she's
like, oh, I
living
like
her
him.
life. She's just having like phone sex. Like I like this for her. And then I was like, of course, like it's TV. Like something has to go
Something
wrong.
always has to go wrong. And it's also like, yeah, I saw something online that was like, secure people don't cheat. And it's like, I really think that too, because like, it reminded me of this French guy I used to date. And like, we had a conversation at the beginning of our relationship where, you know, we started seeing each other, and I'm like, so like, what are you looking for right now? You know? And he's like, well, I'm not monogamous until I am. And I interpreted that like, if it's going well and we're seeing each other more, then that's something I'm open to. That's what I thought, right? So we had been seeing each other for a few months, and like, again, like, we're texting. He's like sleeping over like at least once or twice a week. Like, we're doing things together. You know, we went to like a fucking board game cafe. Like, it's not a hookup.
Right.
You know? And then, yeah, one day we had like this really nice day, and then he like I spent 24 hours with him, and then like he was like, hey, sends me a 15-paragraph text after.
Oh,
It's like,
God.
hey, exactly. Hey, just so you know, like, I've been sleeping with 2 other people. French, no more French kiss. But like, and I want to be with you, but I want to come to an agreement, or basically like, I don't want to stop. Like, and I was just thinking like, dude, and I told him, I was like, you take up so much of my time and my space and my energy, that hearing that you're like sleeping with 2 other women, and like you're going like doing all that work to get to sleeping and all of that, like you don't have a life. Like, you're never alone. You don't have any fucking hobbies. You don't have any, like, that's it. And there's a lot of people like that, like, who like dating and shit is, to a certain extent, that's kind of like a lot of the women at the show. Like, that's Carrie. I'm like, Carrie, like, why don't you fucking join a kickball league, bitch? Or like, volunteer, do some, go to a soup kitchen.
She's like, I can't be alone all weekend or else I'll cheat. And then what did she do with her time? Calls Mr. Big. It's like, you clearly needed to.
She needed the kickball league.
All she needed to do was like go do
kickball.
anything else.
Yeah, go to a museum, like go to a fucking thing. Walk, like join a religious community, like something, dog. Like
Really?
get a dog so you can walk it, and then you're so fucking tired, and then
her walking the dog just to go see Mr. Big, losing the dog, and then coming back and freaking out on Aiden, and then he's just worried she's smoking again and is supportive for her, and she just accepts it. I was like, I really cannot stand Carrie right now. Like
There's
this was
actually-
like low of the low.
There's a fun fact about the dog. So the dog actually was really not getting along with Aiden. And so they had to do like ultra training because he like was scared. Apparently was really scared of John Corbett. And according to multiple sites, they gave Corbett pet treats to appease Pete, but they ultimately just replaced the dog.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because John Corbett's tall too, so
Yeah, I'm sure he like scares dogs.
He
Also,
scares
wow,
dogs.
those T-shirts. It's like
he's
what
6'5".
is he
He's
really?
a big guy.
He's 6'5".
I'm like smiling while saying that.
You know what's so funny is
Yeah.
that I'm watching The Good Wife,
Okay.
and it has Chris Noth in it too.
Oh,
and
wow.
he's
right.
and he's a cheater in that show too. So I'm like, he really got in his bag.
He
with
found his part, and he was like, "I'll do this in every show I'm in."
and believable. It's like it's exactly his character in Good Wife is so similar because it's like he's a cheater who has Riz and protects his family.
There's Mr. Big.
There he is. I have to say, Mr. Big, when we go, are we going to switch? Because we only have a little bit of time left, so probably switching over to Carrie when they're in the
because
bed.
Charlotte just gets $1 million.
Yeah, that's all
so
that
we can move
needed
past
to.
her.
Yeah. So the him with the hairy arm with the Rolex. With just like kind of, did you see that in the bed when he's kind of like
That turned you on, Nora? Wow.
I don't even know we're talking at her house or the hotel flashes.
They were at the hotel, and then there was like one flash of it, and he had like this giant Rolex watch, and he had a big hairy arm, and he was kind of like he like did a little like he like grabbed her, and I was like, all right, I kind of got
What's
it.
hot about both Big and Aiden is like they're like bigger dudes, but
Yeah.
they're not like jacked. They just have like
Yes.
these nice, like thick, like manly bodies.
Corn-fed, that's what they call them.
That's what they look like.
We don't have
That's
like
Midwest
big,
corn-fed.
yeah, we don't have like big guys in New York.
No,
Like they're all pretty little,
Or
I feel
they're like-
all
I
really
kind of
big
like a
gym
little
bros.
guy, though, honestly.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
What's your
I mean-
what's your dream height?
Oh, I'm not really particular about height. Like, I feel like, again, like, I'm 5'6", so, like, I'm not like, he has to be 6 feet. Like, that's not my thing. But my friends have, like, this barometer of, like, French twink and corn-fed, like, all-American, big, stocky guy. And, like, they say, like, there's a spectrum. And, like, obviously French twink, like, skinny, artistic looking, whatever. So, my co-host Elise, she's all the way American corn-fed, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm all the way at the other end of, like, French twink, like, obviously, like, artsy, sad boy, whatever. But I end up, a lot of the sad boys that I end up, the last, like, few guys were, like, Jewish sad boys who were, like, 6'1", but,
6'1", though. That's not bad. That's
No,
not
they're
bad.
always tall, but their confidence, self-esteem, and mental illness really shrinks sometimes. Really, I feel like they're 5'6" too.
That's your vibe. That's the vibe.
I
they
always
put out
end
there.
up being Big Spoon. Like,
Do you feel like, are you attracted to any of the guys that Carrie dates, like, at all?
I think I like Aiden. Aiden
Yeah.
is like I want I think he's like the best of both worlds, which is like sensitive guy who's also outdoorsy and like
Yeah.
crafty and cares and all this stuff.
I feel bad in this episode. He's so like being just so good, like just being like loving and there for her and supportive and like fun and like it's just the opposite of what she wants. Like she doesn't necessarily want Mr. Big. She wants the will they, won't they. She wants the chaos, and he's just like he's an ideal boyfriend. He's just like too stable.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the tough thing that I can't. It's hard for me because I've never experienced that, and I know like a lot of. I feel like that's an experience that a lot of women. It's like it's hard to. It's very like to have this guy who's perfect, but you know, versus like wanting the chaos. It's usually the other way around, where like
you're forced with the chaos, and you're like, where is the normal man?
Yeah, I want just
stable guy
someone
who loves
normal.
me?
And then when something starts to feel normal, these guys get so scared.
I felt really grossed out watching Carrie like tell him that she loves him.
I felt really grossed out by Big's tropical shirt.
Yeah, what was
going
that?
on there?
Also, like, it looks like you have a dog. I also have a dog. If anybody that I was dating lost my dog, I don't care if the dog found its way back to my house. Like, we're not seeing each other anymore.
Oh, we're done. Yeah,
We're done.
I think I would like. I don't know how people with kids do it, because I feel like I have a kid because I feel like I'm a single mom with my dog, and it's so funny because there's been guys that I've dated who like I really like but are indifferent about my dog, and like kind of whatever. But then there was this one guy who I was kind of like okay on, I wasn't really crazy about, but he loved my dog. He was like, okay, send me a picture. And like the first time he was just like holding and cuddling with my dog, and my dog looked at me like, who the fuck is this man? I'm like, I don't know, that's not your stepdaddy.
Not yet.
But so I'm just saying, like, I get so sensitive with my dog of like, don't fucking say shit. Don't like, there's this one friend I had who like, we were good friends, and she was always like kind of trying, it would always be digs and jabs and all this stuff. It was kind of frenemy. I felt like she was always like, whatever. And I'd kind of always let it slide. I'm like, oh, that's just how she is, whatever. And one day she said something about my dog, and I've never spoken to her
That's
again.
when you're done.
That's when it's over.
Not my dog. So I'm just saying, I don't know how people with kids, like, if you have a mom you don't get along with or something, but your kid is best friend with their kid, like,
right.
I don't know how you handle that. So, like, I absolutely would dump somebody.
Yeah.
I'd probably do something violent if they, like, lost my dog.
Oh, seriously, like, the biggest red flag ever. All right, so we always end our episodes, like, if we had any, like, favorite quotes or, like, from the episode, like, best lines, because there's always, like, some unhinged lines in the episode. Do you have any, like, favorite quotes or moments from the episode?
I mean, I think the phone sex is so fun. Like,
so you have phone sex actively? Sorry, that was like an accusation. I was like, so you have phone sex? No,
now we know.
That was going to be one of the questions. Like, I wish I was like more like that. Like, I never have.
I like talking on the phone with guys.
Okay.
And like flirting.
Okay.
And all of that. There's just something that you can't get from text that you can get from phone.
Agreed.
That's really fun.
Okay.
So I like talking on the phone a lot. I haven't like, oh, what are you doing? Are you touching yourself? Blah, blah, blah. Like, that necessarily isn't like as exciting as just like talking on the phone with boys.
Yeah.
I like even like, yeah, like I'll talk. Sometimes I'll meet a guy like from online and we're hitting it off and we're like just, I've been known to like talk till 2 a.m. with like, it's really fun and cool. So I just like that situation.
I love that.
It's really fun and cool to talk to boys.
I love a voice memo. That's
Voice memo.
Voice memo.
Because then you can show it to all your friends. You can be like, look what he sent me. That's the best part.
Actually, I do coerce guys a lot to send me. I'm not like crazy about, but like, sometimes you can just tell. I'm like, listen, it sounds like you want to send me something. Why don't you go ahead and send me? So when I was in Spain, like a year ago, there was this guy on Tinder, and I like kind of like coaxed him to send, and he sent me like voice memos and like pictures and stuff of his dick, and I would send it to like show my friends.
I love that. I feel like now the phone sex is just like a dick pic.
I used to be big into phone sex. And,
really?
And when I was watching this episode, it kind of like reminded me like phone sex is the best because you're having this sexy exchange, but like no, there's none of the pressures of being there in person.
Yeah.
Like I literally seeing her in her bed in her pajamas. I was like, yeah, like this is the best. Like you're on the phone, you're both having a sexy exchange, but you're like completely comfortable and no one can see you. So you can also like kind of like do however you would do if you were alone.
Right.
And because you're both like talking to each other that way, but also like touching yourselves, like there isn't too much pressure to what you say.
Right.
Like if you were just like mess up and say something like, yeah, like, well, we're both in the middle of like touching ourselves. So like, who cares? I watched this and it like took me back. Did you have any favorite quotes though?
I think mine was when they walk into that party for Charlotte and they're like, these are wasps. They're not going to have any food. And then Samantha's like, I'll take 6 olives in my martini. It was like, all right, that's actually a little hacky, but I liked it.
A little relatable.
No, yeah, like honestly, that was like a cultural thing. Was like, oh wow, like white people, like when they gather, they don't have food.
Not Jews. I
Not Jews. Yeah, no.
yeah,
Sorry,
I'm
some white
Jewish
people.
and no, but you're right. Like the WASP, like I've been to a WASP function and it's like, like Christian white, like upper.
Because I
Upper
hear
East
like
Side, and
Midwest
it's-
white people do have food too.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that's
No,
what
no,
I'm
no.
learning, the nuances between white people. Because I'm like, yo, that's a no. That's a huge no.
It's so disrespectful.
Latin country, hell yeah. Or coming to people's houses empty-handed. I mean, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But like, you're gonna have people in your house. Me and my friends have like the Applegate chicken sausage. Like, there one time we were invited to this barbecue. And we got there an hour late. Barbecue wasn't even on, and all there was expired hummus and like Applegate chicken sausage. Like,
Oh my god.
No. Not
Yeah,
a barbecue.
no,
Not a barbecue.
When you go to like it's really so like WASP specifically. They like they're almost it's almost like a test. It's like can you sit with me and not eat? It's like
Yeah.
no,
No.
I hate you. But I say Jews because my mom and all of my Jewish like women in my life, like the second you come in, they're like, what do you need to eat? How can I get you more food? They're constantly asking you nonstop if you need more food, almost to the point where you're like, are you okay?
Like, I'm
Like,
good.
is everything
Like,
good?
Please, let's just have fun at the party.
Like, can we just talk?
I remember I went to Latin people celebrate like Christmas Eve. They call it Noche Buena. So you usually have like whatever. And I went over my cousin's wife. My cousin lives in Long Island and his wife is Jewish. And the bitch had some brisket and it was good as fuck.
Hell
And
yeah.
I'm like, now I know what Miss Maisel was doing. Okay,
Now I get
know
it.
why
Now I get it.
She got the raw belly and she got the good brisket and he dumped her. Hell no. I took a bite. I'm like, that's fucked up what they did to Miss Maisel.
First words out of your
Like,
mouth. After the
okay.
brisket.
Oh my god. Did you have any quotes, or do you want to wrap, or how you feeling?
No, I'm good. I mean, I feel like my favorite part was also at the function. I just loved when Bunny switches.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
Charlotte shows she's not this stupid girl and she read the prenup and she read it with her lawyer and she's not like signing it and Bunny's just like, what do you want?
Yeah.
That was like to me like all right, now like game recognizes game.
Yeah.
Bunny knows Charlotte's not an idiot and Charlotte knows Bunny's not an idiot. Everyone's just playing nice around Trey, who is the idiot in the situation. But I just loved that whole scene, really.
Who's your favorite? Kyle MacLachlan. I forgot about him. He's pretty fucking hot.
Yeah.
He is. But Trey as a character to me is like ugh.
Yeah. He's
the
kind of a
like when
loser.
she wants to buy stuff and he's like, no way, it's too expensive, and then she does puppy dog eyes, he's like, oh, I can't say no to her. I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
I just either buy for her or don't. Like, I don't really like that whole.
Yeah,
I didn't
she has
like
to,
that.
beg for it.
She has to
It
do
was,
the
like,
puppy
weird.
dog
Well,
eye.
doesn't he have like dick problems?
Yeah. Later on, he
No,
I
does.
forget. Is it like that it won't get hard, it won't stay hard, or it's
a
small?
mix.
It's like, well, it starts as it won't get hard, but then she learns that he's like jacking off to these magazines where these girls have huge boobs. So then she's like, oh, so it's me. And then that's kind of what they're dealing with.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of fun to have Trey on
Men
the show.
men are so sweet and great.
Yeah, they're the
Basically.
best.
Yeah, I really want one when I'm sick. All they're gonna do is jack off to porn with you.
That's all they got to do. But yeah, no, I thought that was great. That's all I had to say on the app.
Millie, where can everyone find you? Like listening. Where should we
Can
direct
find
them?
me. I'm like, where can you find me? You can find me every Wednesday. Go touch grass. Everywhere you get your pods, on YouTube too. We're fucking doing it. On Instagram at Milly_Tamarez. On Twitter at Milly Tamarez. Like, I don't know why I'm on that KKK website. Blue Sky, I guess. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Red Note. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all of them. My brain is rotting. I checked my phone for the time really quickly, and I saw I had all these replies because I would literally, again, I told you I was grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I literally saw $17 eggs.
Wow.
And I posted it.
Where?
It was an 18-pack, so the 18-pack of eggs, but
Yeah.
still $17.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
And the regulars are $11.49.
Thanks so much,
And I
Crumb.
put it-
You're doing such a great job.
Seriously.
Thank you.
No, I said it's been 2 weeks and the eggs. Look at this shit.
Yeah.
And that was
It's,
everyone's
you know what I
big
keep saying?
obsession.
It's not my lesson to learn. It's not my lesson to learn.
There you go. Yep. Well, you've been an absolute treat.
Yeah, thank you
We
so
love
much
you.
for
I'm so
being
sorry
on.
for being late.
Oh,
Oh,
don't
no
worry.
worries.
Everyone's late. It's
We're
all
here.
good. You're a comedian. It's
Yeah,
part of
I'm a
the.
comedian.
It's part of the whole thing.
I
you know?
literally, forgot about that. I was grocery shopping. I got high, and then I was like,
That's what happens. All right, we're gonna we'll probably sign off, but one thing to know. Oh, should we do the sign off and then?
Oh,
we'll,
yeah.
Thank you, Sean Curley,
Thank
for
you,
our
Sean
intro
Curley.
outro music.
Thank you, Becky Hermenze, who's our video and audio producer. And yeah, this was a great episode. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. Love you.